Hi, my name is Vanessa van Dijk, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use Paula's Choice Clinical 0.3% Retinol plus 2% Bakuchiol Treatment, which is an anti-aging serum. Now at first I want to go over some general information. I want to go over how this serum can help you to improve your skin and what it does. Then I want to share with you the time of use and for whom it is suitable. Then I want to move on to a frequency guide so that you can figure out what frequency works the best for you, since it is very individual depending on your skin needs and overall tolerance, to lower the risk of experiencing irritation. And then I want to share with you some example skincare routines so that you can see the order of application as well as what you should avoid, again, to lower the risk of experiencing irritation. And lastly, I want to show you the entire application on my face like a little demonstration. So this serum contains retinol, bakuchiol, peptides and vitamin C. They have one thing in common, and those are all anti-aging ingredients. Now we are keeping the focus on the retinol. It contains 0.3% of retinol. Now retinol is an anti-aging as well as cell communicating ingredient, which basically tells the new skin cells to stay healthy or to become healthy, so that once they are getting to the skin surface, you will have an overall more healthy and youthful appearance. At the same time, it helps to speed up the cell turnover, which means that the dead skin cells that you're seeing or sitting on top of the skin surface can let go of the skin faster. And this can help you to improve the appearance of dullness, fine lines and wrinkles, textured skin, as well as an uneven skin tone, such as surface hyperpigmentation, like brownish spots or even reddish spots. Then we are working with a 2% Bakuchiol. Now Bakuchiol has very similar abilities to retinol. It is a cell communicating ingredient as well. It is also an anti-aging ingredient. It can help you to improve fine lines and wrinkles, yet at the same time supports the retinol so that it's less irritating on the skin, since Bakuchiol can help to calm the skin, to reduce any irritation as well as sensitivity on the skin. And we are working with peptides and vitamin C. Peptides keep an eye on your overall health on the skin, have some anti-aging benefits as well, vitamin C too, and it helps to brighten the skin. So overall, it is a nice gentle mixture where we are working with a moderate strength of retinol. Now when using it, it is best to use it in your evening skincare routine only, since retinol is sensitive to sunlight. So to keep things simple and to make sure that you're getting most out of your retinol treatment, use it in the evening. Now it is not wrong to use it during daytime instead of your evening routine, depending on what else you may be using, but then you have to be really fussy about your sunscreen application during daytime, since you want to make sure that you're going to keep the benefits of your retinol. And at the same time, sunscreen is important anyway due to how retinol works, because it makes the skin sensitive to the sun. So this is one point that I do want to emphasize. Another one would be for whom it is suitable. Well, it's great for all skin types. Now, I do want to emphasize that if you have extremely dry or sensitive skin or compromised skin, I recommend not using it, because it can be quite irritating on the skin due to the percentage of retinol we are using. So I do want to point this out as well. And please do not work with retinol or retinoid products while being pregnant or currently breastfeeding. I recommend getting the best recommendations when it comes to skincare products from your doctor. So those are the main information that I want to share with you. When it now comes to the frequency, I recommend starting off slowly, and by that I mean using it 2 to 3 times per week, so that you have at least like 1 or 2 days in between where you're not using your retinol, to see how the retinol performs on your skin and if maybe sensitivity starts to occur or not, which depends on your overall skin needs, your age, as well as your overall tolerance. Now, based on the formulation, it is less likely to cause sensitivity, but still I do want to emphasize that retinol itself can cause irritation when using it too often, too quickly, and your skin hasn't had the time to adjust to it. And at the same time, if the percentage of retinol that's being used is too strong for your skin to tolerate, then this can end up with redness, a sunburn feeling, as well as even weird looking pimples or stinging or burning. So this can become quite uncomfortable. Now, to some extent, those signs of sensitivity can go away over time once your skin has adjusted to it. But if the strength overall is already too strong for your skin to handle, then it's not really going to adjust to it, and you always will end up with signs of irritation. And so therefore the frequency does matter. So while starting off by using it 2 to 3 times per week for at least, let's say, a month, you are able to figure out how that specific frequency works for your skin needs. If you can already see some signs of irritation or sensitivity overall, I recommend reducing the frequency even further, or maybe look into a lower percentage of retinol. If you feel like, well, 2 to 3 times per week is working really well for me, let's say Monday, Wednesday and Friday, I've been doing this for quite some time, no signs of irritation at all, then if you like to, you can move up and use it every other day in your evening skincare routine. If that should work well, then you can over time increase it to using it daily in your evening skincare routine. So you can use it once per day daily in your evening skincare routine when tolerating it, and if you have given your skin enough time to adjust to it. And so this is fairly individual for everyone. So some people may say, well, I'm good with every other day because if I'm going to use it more often, I'm always ending up with sensitivity. And whereas others say, well, I can use it daily quite quickly, my skin has adjusted to it and that's actually what it needs. So you need to adjust it, and by starting off with using it less often throughout the week, by increasing it over time, you will see what your skin enjoys and what it doesn't. And if signs of sensitivity occurs, if you can already feel the slightest sensitivity, I recommend reducing the frequency. If you went through it too fast, since retinol can have a delayed response, and you end up with all of a sudden with quite a strong irritation feeling, then I recommend giving your skin a break for some time until it has calmed down and then start again. So those are some tips as well as a frequency guide that I wanted to share with you. Now I want to go over my example skincare routines as well as what to avoid. Now I have some example skincare products in my example skincare routines. Now keep in mind, those are just examples. They can be replaced or adjusted with what you may have already at home. Just make sure that you're using the right products for your skin type and needs. So if you have a drier skin type, look for a cleanser, maybe a toner, moisturizer, sunscreen. That's great for a drier skin type, and the same would apply if you have an oilier skin type. Since retinol can make the skin from time to time drier, which if you have oily skin, you may enjoy it. You want to keep things very simple since you like the benefits of it. If you have already a drier skin type, it's important to look out for dryness and adjust it accordingly. So I have a few examples right here, as well as some examples in my skincare routine. So one example would be keeping it very simple. So you're going to get started with using a gentle cleanser that's suitable for your skin type and needs. Rinse it off, pat the skin dry, then immediately move on to the retinol treatment, apply it to the skin, leave it on the skin, and then either just leave it as it is, depending on your skin type, or if you experience already a bit of dryness or you have already a drier skin type, then follow with a moisturizer afterwards. Now, depending on your preference, you may say, well, I have a hydrating and soothing toner at home. Of course, you can go ahead and include it. Hydrating toners can be used daily in the morning and or evening. So since I'm keeping my focus on an evening skincare routine, you're going to wash your face with a gentle cleanser, then move on to your hydrating and soothing toner, then your retinol treatment, and then your moisturizer if you should feel the need. This would be the order of application, even though you may have other skincare products at home. Now, when I'm talking about a hydrating and soothing toner, I mean it. I'm not talking about exfoliating acids or exfoliating acid fluids or exfoliating acid serums, or exfoliating acid like lotions or even tonics. Because when working with an exfoliant, it's best to not use it in the same routine when using a retinol. So keep them separate, since it can lead to irritation, which would be one example of what you should avoid when working with a retinol. Now, when being new to retinol, at first I recommend keeping things very simple and just add with hydration as well as the retinol product on its own, so that you can see how your skin is going to respond to it before thinking of adding an exfoliant in that same week of your skincare routine. And so once you see, well, I'm really happy with how the retinol performs and I want to add an exfoliant to it as well, which you may not actually need, since retinol kind of exfoliates the skin as well, but if you still should feel the need, you can go ahead and do so, but keep them separate. Do not use your retinol and your exfoliating acid cleanser or even serum or toner or exfoliating acid mask. Please avoid using them in the same routine. Keep them separate. So one thing on how you could do it is alternate between them in your evening skincare routine. So on Monday, use your retinol. On Tuesday, maybe your exfoliant. On Wednesday, your retinol. On Thursday, your exfoliant again. Of course, you need to adjust the frequency of your exfoliating acid product that you may have at home, or use your exfoliant during daytime. Don't forget your sun protection because it makes the skin sensitive to the sun, and then use your retinol in the evening. So those are just some examples on how you can keep them separate. And another example would be, please avoid using your retinol treatment with a strong vitamin C product in the same routine, since this combination overall can lead to irritation. So in case you should have like more than a 20% vitamin C product at home that contains ascorbic acid, I recommend keeping them in separate routine. Best would be in your evening skincare routine only, but you would alternate between them in your evening routine. So you would have 2 p.m. routines as an example, so that you still can use both, but making sure that you're going to adjust the frequency and still do not end up with irritation. And the last one that I do want to emphasize is retinol and retinoids. Please do not use Paula's Choice retinol treatment with other retinols or retinoids in the same routine, nor during the same week, because they are all vitamin A products. They just have different names and overall different formulations on how they work. But if you're going to use multiple retinol or retinoids products in the same routine, it still can lead to sensitivity and irritation due to on how they work. So you only want to use one, and in this case it would be using Paula's Choice retinol treatment on its own. So those were the example skincare routines, as well as what you should avoid, that I wanted to share with you, so that you have an idea of, if you have other skincare products at home, how you can set it up and how you can adjust it accordingly to your skin type and needs. So again, if you find them helpful, you can download them in the description box down below. But for now, I really want to keep my focus on the entire application, which I want to share with you. So we are going to get started with an evening skincare routine that I wanted to demonstrate, since this is also how I recommend using the retinol treatment. So the first step would be washing your face with a gentle and suitable cleanser for your skin type and needs. And so this can either be just a gentle skin cleanser for your skin type. So this one is, for example, the oil reducing cleanser by Paula's Choice, great for oily combination skin. This is just one example. If you have a different gentle cleanser, exchange it. Just make sure that it's not an exfoliating acid cleanser. And depending on how effective your cleanser may be, you can just use one if it is able to properly remove sunscreen and or makeup from the skin, or you may want to do a double cleanse, using an oil or balm cleanse at first and then move on to your daily gentle cleanser to wash your face. And so in this case, I'm going to use that one as an example. If you have a different one at home, please make sure to read on the back of the packaging on how you should use it. Do you have to apply it on dry skin or on wet skin, and then adjust it accordingly? Can you use the cleanser around the eyes, or do you need to avoid the eye area? Those are some instructions that you have to look for, so that you're making sure that you can properly wash your face and at the same time is gentle on the skin. The cleanser should not irritate your skin nor dries out your skin in any way. So in this example, I need to apply the cleanser on wet skin. So the first step that I'm going to do is now wetting my face and neck with lukewarm water, and then I'm going to apply the cleanser onto wet skin. So let's go ahead and do this. So go ahead and use about a coin-size amount, or about 1 to 2 pumps of your cleanser in the palm of your hand. Rub your hands together and gently massage it all over for about 30 seconds to a minute. So once you have massaged the cleanser all over your face and neck, you now can go ahead and rinse it off again with lukewarm water to warm water. You can do this by just using your hands if that's working well for you. However, if you should have troubles removing it properly from the skin, go ahead and use a soft and fresh washcloth which you can wet and use in between to make sure that everything comes properly off. So now go ahead and take a fresh towel and pat the skin dry. So once you have pat the skin dry, you can immediately move on to the next step, which can already be the application of Paula's Choice Retinol Treatment. However, if you have a hydrating and soothing toner at home, then you can include it. Use it after your cleansing step, but before applying the retinol treatment. And again, I'm going to repeat it. I'm talking about hydrating and soothing toners. I'm not talking about exfoliating acid toners, liquids, or even serums. So please avoid using products that contain AHA, like glycolic, lactic, or mandelic acid, or BHA, salicylic acid. So please avoid it. Use a hydrating and soothing toner if you have one. So one example would be Paula's Choice Pore Reducing Toner, which is great for combination to oily skin. Again, this is just one example, since I want to share with you an overall general guide on how much you need to use when doing the application. So there are two ways on how you can apply it. Either dispense some product in the palm of your hand or use it on a cotton pad. When dispensing the product in the palm of your hand, you need to use way less as if you would use a cotton pad. But the texture of your toner does play a big role as well. So if you have a toner that has a very thin texture, use between 5 to 8 drops. If you have a toner that has a thicker texture, use between like 2 to 4 drops if it has like a serum-like texture. So then you need to reduce the amount due to the texture and how you're going to blend it all over your face and neck. Once you have, use it in the palm of your hands, rub your hands together, and then gently swipe it across your face and neck. Then you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And give it about 30 seconds to a minute to absorb into the skin, and it shouldn't sit on top of the skin surface. When it comes to using it on a cotton pad, you do not need to soak up the entire cotton pad. First of all, you're going to use way too much product. Second of all, you're going to waste a lot of product. So use about a coin size amount. You need to use more, that's for sure, but you still do not need to overdo it. So use about that much, more or less. You can see I haven't soaked up the entire cotton pad, but just basically the center right here. So about a coin size amount, more or less. And then again, swipe it across your face and neck. It should feel slightly damp, not completely wet. And again, the product should be able to absorb into the skin without any issues. And so again, once you have applied your hydrating and soothing toner, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And then you're going to move on to Paula's Choice Retinol Treatment. Now, since it contains 0.3% retinol, which is a moderate strength, you can use between 1 to 2 pumps for your face and neck, and you can use it on the eye contour. Now, when I'm talking about the eye contour, I'm talking about this part right here. You can bring it up further the temples as well, because you can get fine lines and wrinkles there as well, that's for sure. But I recommend keeping an eye on the eye contour when using it, since the overall eye area is a bit more sensitive than the rest of your face. Same would apply to the corners of your nose, maybe the corners of your lips, as well as the corners of your eyes. Those are some parts where dryness or like sensitivity, overall redness, which then like starts to hurt a bit, can become quite obvious when using it too often, or when using a concentration that's too strong that a sensitive area cannot tolerate that well. I really recommend that if you say, well, I want to use it on the eye contour, keep an eye on how it performs. Use it like less often as you would use it over your entire face, or balance it out with an hydrating like eye cream or even your moisturizer later on, so that you can reduce like signs of irritation when using it. But please make sure to not bring it too close to the actual lower lash line, since this is where the skin is very, very thin and sensitive. Please do not use it on top of your eyelids, and please make sure to not use it on your lips or too close to your actual lip, because this can give you like a sunburn feeling, which you can experience by accident, which happened to me as well, but I do want to emphasize it. Please, if you can, I recommend avoiding this part right here, not getting it too close to the actual lip contour, since this can become quite painful. And so when using it, again, as already mentioned, use between 1 to 2 pumps for your face and neck. If you want to include your décolletage, or depending on how large your face may be, you can use like another pump too if you should feel the need, but I recommend starting off at first with 1 to 2 pumps before thinking of using another pump to blend it further down. So, and once you have applied it, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now, if you have an oilier skin type, as already mentioned, you can stop right here. If you do enjoy the benefits that your skin has become less oily, then go ahead and just leave it at it. However, if you do experience dryness that it becomes a bit uncomfortable, please don't hesitate to add a moisturizer afterwards. Now, I'm going to now move on to a moisturizer. I have one example right here, which is Paula's Omega Complex Moisturizer. It says it's great for normal to dry skin. However, I do believe it's actually great for all skin types. It's very lightweight and nourishes the skin well. This is just one example. If you have a different one, go ahead and exchange it. Just make sure that it works well for your skin type and overall needs. And it helps to hydrate and calms the skin at the same time. So when using a moisturizer, use about a pea size amount more or less. If you have a drier skin type, use a bit more. Either by using it if it has a pump, or like use your finger to dip into your moisturizing cream if it is in a jar. But again, overall, please do not overdo it. Just make sure that you can evenly apply it. Use it between your fingers and then gently apply it all over. Now again, if you have used the retinol treatment on your eye contour, you do not have an eye cream, you just prefer to use your moisturizer closer to the eye, that's fine too, so that you can hydrate it well and that it is less irritating. So, and once you have applied your moisturizer, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now, the time between your retinol application as well as then moving on to the moisturizer can be around 1 to 2 minutes. I mean, it also depends on how quickly the retinol treatment absorbs into the skin. In my case, it absorbs like pretty quickly. However, if you feel like your skin needs a bit more time, give it that time. But there's no need to wait more than 2 minutes before moving on to the moisturizer. Since when using a retinol treatment or overall serum, you want to make sure that you're using enough so that you can evenly apply it. But at the same time, it shouldn't sit on top of the skin surface. You're just going to apply it very thinly, and then you shouldn't have any issues that it's going to sit on top of the skin surface. But basically everything should absorb into the skin, and then when following with your moisturizer and you're going to apply it on top, there shouldn't be any issue and you get the full benefits of your retinol product as well as of your moisturizer. And so once you have applied your moisturizer, since this is going to be your evening skincare routine, that's already it. This is going to be the last step in your evening skincare routine if you do want to use a moisturizer as well. And so this would be an example of an entire evening skincare routine. I want to keep things simple since the retinol treatment does contain several benefiting ingredients that really can help you to reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. But one thing that I do want to emphasize is sun protection during daytime. Since the way on how retinol works, by speeding up the cell turnover, the newer and healthier skin cells underneath become more sensitive. Therefore, sun protection during daytime is key. And so when working with sun protection, you can either use a moisturizer that already contains SPF or regular sunscreen. And if you want to see the entire application as well as what you have to keep in mind when using a sunscreen, I have a specific video for you in the top right corner with the application so that you can see it visually when then waking up the next morning, doing your morning skincare routine as usual, and then following with sun protection. Now, this is what I wanted to share with you on how you can use Paula's Choice Retinol Treatment with Bakuchiol. I do hope that you enjoyed it and that you find it helpful. If you did so, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up as well as share it. And if you now want to learn more about skincare products and how you can apply them, I have several videos on my YouTube channel and I'm going to link some of them at the end of this video so that you can keep on watching. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye!